What's up, everybody? It's Chad Reed here for Forge Mentality. How's everybody doing? I'm doing pretty good. Today's video I wanted to make, I promised it a while ago. It's mostly going to be for men, but women, obviously, you can listen as well, and maybe it'll be some advice that might help you. It's on weight loss. I think I mentioned it before, but a year ago I weighed 298.7 pounds, and sitting right now I weigh 222.2. And I'm not here to try to brag or anything like that. It was hard work, and I figured I'd talk about it a little bit, so this way you can see some of the steps that I did. Maybe implement it in your journey if you are trying to lose weight, or if you're on the fence about losing weight. Um, Hopefully, this video might help you. So the first thing I did was I stopped drinking energy drinks completely. I used to drink, sometimes two or three Monster energy drinks a day, and I quit, pretty much cold turkey. I stopped. I still drink coffee, and I replaced the energy drinks with like teas and things like that. But I was getting quite a bit of my calories through energy drinks. And that includes pop or soda, however you say it, depending on where you are in the country. But I used to drink, maybe 40 to 60 ounces of pop a day, maybe even more. Um, you know, I go to the convenience store and get one of those, 42-ounce fountain drinks. Sometimes I would drink two in a day. And over the last year, I've really not stocked pop in the house. A little bit, but that's mostly for my daughter. And I had self control. Sometimes, I'd reach for a pop and then I'd put it back in the fridge and grab a water instead, um, which is another thing. My water intake has increased substantially. I drink probably about 140 ounces of water a day. That's my average. Occasionally I drink a little bit less, depends on what I'm doing, but often, quite often, I drink a lot more. And really, for me at least, a vast majority of my calories were coming from the things that I drink. Uh, I actually looked at my calories, my caloric intake for a week, and charted just the calories from food, and it was something like 900 to 1200 calories a day is what I would take in for food. And of course, I know that's not most of you, um, you know, but I realized that, 65-70% of my calories were coming from what I was drinking. Another thing that I did was I just cut back on sugar a little bit. In my coffee, I used to use, uh, what, 3 tablespoons or 4 tablespoons of sugar, and I cut it down to teaspoons instead, 3 teaspoons instead of 3 tablespoons, and it's a little bit of time to get used to it, but I drink coffee for the flavor, really, not so much for the caffeine. I could drink a cup of coffee and go to sleep right after if I'm tired enough. But after a year of drinking water, cutting back those calories from the energy drinks, which add up substantially, especially if you're drinking one of those tall boys, and you're drinking two of those in a day, and I would drink a lot of 5 hour energies and things like that, and that leads me to my next point. I also started working on getting more sleep. I used to stream full time before I started working, as much as I do. And so, I would stream 300 hours a month, was, average month, on a higher average. It was usually around like 260, 280. But the point is, I pretty much was awake constantly. And it was because of all them energy drinks. And, I felt like crap. And, I just, some nights, my averages would be like 1.5, 2 hours of sleep a night for, extended weeks of time. I was talking in my sleep. I was actually streaming in my sleep one time. We got a video footage of it, so I know it happened. But so you want to increase your sleep. If you increase your sleep, it helps your body repair a lot faster. You'll be able to do a lot more. You'll be more productive. You'll be more efficient. Um, and I'd say 7 hours of sleep is probably the average you should shoot for. Obviously, the science says 8, but we got things to do, right? So 7 is still pretty good. And whenever you take naps, make sure you try to take them in 90-minute cycles. So an hour and a half. Basically, you're either taking an hour and a half or a 3-hour nap, which 3 hours is longer than a nap. But it's because your sleep cycles. You want to be able to cycle through all, so you don't feel worse when you wake up. Usually, when you feel worse when you wake up, then like if you didn't sleep at all, it's because you interrupted one of your key cycles. And so, about 90 minutes is what you should shoot for. I also started doing something called intermittent fasting, which is where you eat only during a certain block of the day. You eat all your meals in that block, and then the rest of the time, on both sides of that block, you're not eating. It's so that your body can start eating away at your fat deposits. Um, you know, First I'd do like a 24-hour fast. It's recommended that you do at least I think it's like 17 or 18. Probably, yeah, 17 because it's a 7-hour window to eat. So 17 and 7 is 24. But I would do 24 hours. Like maybe every other weekend or something like that. Um, for a period of 2 months, I'd do every other weekend, so like 4 fasts, and then I'd eat normally like I do, while minding my other calories from I previously mentioned drinks. It helps you to lose quite a bit of weight actually. If you go, for me at least, every 24 hours a fast that I had at the end of it, especially if I worked out on the fast, that's a good one. Working out on the fast helps you supercharge the calories you're burning during that fast, because you're still burning calories after your exercise is over, depending on how intense it was for the duration. It determines the duration of how much you're burning calories after. But if you're fasting at the same time, you don't have the food energy for your exercise to take from. So it's converting your fat to fuel in order to fuel your exercising habits. But back to the fasting, real quick. I would usually burn a pound and a half to 3 pounds per 36-hour fast, because I've done 24 36s and a 48, just one 48 though. And yeah, it was getting kind of painful, but your body produces a hunger hormone, ghrelin, and a lot of times when you're thirsty or dehydrated, your body produces that when you can just drink water, and you'll find that you're not hungry as often. It's because you're actually dehydrated, and you don't have to eat. In the last year, I've also improved my cardio. I've always been a walker, and then back in the day when I was a kid, I used to do a lot of biking and a lot of roller skating, and I would actually lose like 3.5, 4 pounds each time I went roller skating. Because it was intense, and it was for 3, 5 hours, 6 hours sometimes. But as an adult, obviously, I don't have time for that, and you know, but the way I improve my cardio is, just walk. I walk more. I try to shoot for 10,000 steps a day. My record is like 24, 26,000 or something like that. I keep track of it on an app on my phone. Um, Let me get the app name here actually for you, because I have another app to show you. All right, step tracker and pedometer, and there's my steps for the day. Since midnight, that's how many steps I've had. And keep in mind, I haven't walked anywhere in like 8 hours, 9 hours or so. So, definitely it's not like I'm walking like my entire life or anything like that. But, an hour and a half of walking or so a day is a decent goal to shoot for. 2 hours, is better because you'll be able to get over 10,000 steps. You'll probably get like 12 to 14,000 steps if you were to walk for 2 hours. Don't do it on just a treadmill. You can if it's raining or whatever, but I prefer to walk outside because of inclines and walking down the hills and things. You're actually burning more calories because you're activating more muscles, and the more muscles that are required to do the motions, the more calories you're going to burn. That's just the way things are, and that's why Smith machines are better than like a Bowflex, like a complete workout gym. It's because you're using all your stabilization muscles and things that you need to build out to work to make yourself not look weird, essentially, after you reshape your body from working out. You're working on pushing the weight up while you're using your stabilization muscles, and you're growing out to be more of a swole dude, we'll say. Another thing is I eat Greek yogurt now. Um, I use the kind that has the whole fat milk, because the low fat and non fat and things like that take away a lot of the enzymes and things that are good in there for your gut health. And then I'll flavor it up sometimes. I'll cut up bananas, or I'll smash bananas and mix it in. Oftentimes I'll put a little bit of honey in there, and it makes it taste great. I just use the plain ones because they're lower in calories, and the amount of protein that you get from them is immense. And then the last thing I want to show you here. Come on, there we go. Workout apps. This one's called six pack in 60 days, or six pack in 30 days. Ah, come on, show it. The green screen effect is cutting out the phone, but it's called Six Pack in 30 Days. It's a free app, and it gives you a workout routine to build up your abs. A lot of different types of crunches, side crunches, starfish crunches, under your leg clapping crunches. There's different stretches. There's cobra stretches and side stretch left and right. T planks, regular planks, side bridges. And this app has all these things in there, and it has a timer in it. You can track your progress because you at the end of the session or whatever you put in your weight. So the more you weigh yourself, the more accurate it is, and it'll track it on a bar graph for you. And then it gives you a calorie estimate. But for how much calories you lost during that exercise session, although you could kind of game the system, so I don't really count on those calories. It's more so for the exercises. I don't even count those calories lost because the estimates are just purely based on how long it took you to complete those exercises. And if you just sat there and waited for 5 minutes, it's going to give you an extra, 150, 200 calories burned. And so it can't really, the program can't determine your intensity. And a lot of times when it gives you a 30-second rest period, I still do continue on. Or if there's there's things that are bothering me that day, like my lower back or my knees or things like that. For exercises that I can't do that day if I'm in pain for whatever reason, I just bust out some push-ups instead. So this way I'm working other muscles. You're building out your chest, wide push-ups, diamond push-ups, close push-ups, regular push-ups. You change your base, alternate base push-ups, and then eventually you can start doing one-arm push-ups, which I'm not there yet, but that's my goal, is to start doing one-arm push-ups because I'm almost 40 and I'm very close to a six-pack. And in my life, let me tell you, I've never really been close to a six pack. I never really tried for a six pack, though. I worked out here and there, and I ran the mile at a pretty decent clip and things like that. played some basketball. My sport of choice was football, but I never really, I never really tried to work out. I never really tried to eat right, and I never really tried to cut down sugars. And so there you go. That's my routine. Hopefully it helps you out. It's a pretty solid basis, I'd say. I'm not going to tell you what to eat. I'm not going to tell you to go do some crazy diets, keto diets, South Beach diets. I don't do none of that nonsense. Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, forget all that noise. Do your thing. Just be cognizant of the portions you eat, and remember that it's cool to leave stuff on your plate. You don't feel like you have to force yourself to clear your plate. That alone will save you tons of calories. And let's lose weight together. I'll catch you guys later. I'm Chad Reed. If you like this type of content, you know what to do. I'll see you down in the comments section. Take care.